listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. I'm with, as ever, Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 81215. We'd like that. And you can follow the show on the Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Or you can email the Absolute website. That'll get through to 3 ways there of communicating with us. And relax.
We've just had a text from...
Do you think we should say good morning to each other at the start of the show?
Can I just say, you may have had a text. I've had a reminder about staff expenses due from Absolute Radio.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, they shouldn't be sending me 3 days, everyone.
Can we do staff expenses?
Well, I don't know, but apparently they're due.
Because I think I snagged a pair of pedal pushers about 2 years ago on one of the chairs. And I thought, oh, that'll stitch up, but actually, they look a mess.
Do they?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, you got 3 days, love.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway,
I've
good
got
morning.
them somewhere. I've got evidence. Okay.
Good morning. You said you
Yeah,
wanted
well,
us all
on the
to say good
cricket, they
morning
used to say, morning, Peter, morning, everyone, when they came in.
Oh, did they?
Oh, I'd
Morning.
hate it if we did that.
Morning,
It'd be awful.
morning, Emily.
Oh, it's
Morning,
horrible.
morning, Cockrell. I
Morning.
like it.
I don't like it.
Let's see how it goes. Sorry, we've had a text, you were
We've
saying.
had a text. I'm not sure whether or not to read it. You know, sometimes I
That's
veto
a
them.
worry, isn't it?
Long-time reader,
Sometimes
first-time
you veto them.
texter.
Okay.
Listening to the show naked for the first time, and it's still brilliant. That's all, Darren. I mean, it's early. I don't know how he knows it's still brilliant. All we've done is some basic housekeeping. We've read an email that wasn't for public
Yeah,
consumption.
but when you're
We say
naked,
good morning
everything's
to each
brilliant.
other, yes, I
Your,
suppose.
your standards drop when you're naked. Don't you think, Frank?
Mine certainly do.
As I said, your standards drop.
Yeah, I think he means
Is the
being
word standards
naked.
a euphemism in that sentence?
Does he mean being naked is brilliant?
Or maybe that's what he means.
Maybe he's had
I'll be
clothes
the-
on for many
No,
years.
he has said
I'll be
for
the
the
judge
first
of
time
that.
it's still brilliant.
Maybe
Yeah.
he's one of those homeless blokes who's been taken in by at the rich manor, and they've said to the, when they say to the butler, go and get him scrubbed up, and they're
Oh,
they have
yeah.
that scene of them in the bath going, get off me, when they're cleaning their hair, and when they come out they look great.
Turns out they're good looking underneath
Yeah,
all that
exactly,
as well.
exactly. Like those girls you get in American films when
Yeah.
they play the ugly girl, and they won't actually employ a real ugly girl. They have to have a beautiful girl with glasses and their hair up.
Anne Hathaway, usually.
Yeah. Yeah, she's nicked that name as well. Remember that? That's been used before.
Yeah.
So, that creaking that's my spine.
It's like your sacroiliac.
Yeah, that's what, I had it drained the other day. The fluid I thought was slowing me down.
Fine.
That is
And the
absolutely
discs.
disgusting.
I'm starting to think now maybe the discs maybe need a bit of lubrication.
You know what? I feel so bilious now.
Yeah. What I might do is get some lube on the way home. So, I got in a cab the other night. It's not going to be annoying. That it's like being on board ship. You know when they're when they're below deck and Ahab is doing his walk. Oh, there goes the captain again. You can hear.
Captain Birdseye, that's the only work you get.
There he goes. There'd be the captain. He'd be looking for the big white one.
How dare you when I'm sitting right here?
So I got in this cab and
yeah.
and the driver said, "You're the second celebrity I've had in here." I said, "What, today?" He said, "No, recently." I said, "Okay." And it's one of those when people obviously say something so that you have to ask a question. And whenever they do that, well, like when people say, "Oh God, that's the second strange thing that's happened to me today," I always say, "Oh really? Did you see the match last night?" And in the end they have to tell you. Anyway, so he said, "You're the second celebrity." So I said, "Oh." And he said, "Yeah." He said, "I had that." I was on the edge of my seat. I had that Phil Spencer in here.
Oh, Betty.
Phil Spencer.
Now already he had me at an enormous disadvantage. You can. The thing was, he said it with proper excitement, like he couldn't wait. Like the name, he knew that when he said the name, I'd go, "You are having a laugh," and I didn't know who Phil Spencer was.
Oh.
And I thought, well, how am I going to play this? Because I don't want to say, well, who is he? Because that's going to tear down his, it's going to rain on his parade. He was reading a Parade, which is a 1960s soft porn magazine. Where he got that from? He must be a collector. But anyway, he said, yeah, Phil Spencer, brilliant. And I said, yeah. More of this, I think, in a minute.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Yeah, so Phil Spencer, it turns out, is a presenter on Location.
I know that.
Yeah, I know that.
Which I don't think I've ever seen.
Right.
But I know it's a very popular show. I'm sure more people watch it than watch
Well,
me.
in fairness to you, I don't think many people know him without her, without Kirsty. Kirsty
Okay.
Allsop. It's a bit like Dempsey without Makepeace. It's just not working.
Cannon and Ball, Morecambe and Wise.
Yeah.
They're up there.
Yeah, belt and
St-
braces.
St and Greavesy, Salt and Pepper, yeah.
Salt and Pepper, they were good. Yeah, Althea and Donna.
What?
They did Uptown Top Ranking.
Oh, yeah.
Give me a little BS, let me wind out me waist. Uptown Top Ranking. Can you do the voice?
That one passed me by.
Hold it,
that.
let me... You can't do the voice. Right. Oh, anyway. They've asked me to do the voice, and now I can't do it. So, I wasn't sure, and I do, excuse me, any location, or can we call it LLL?
Oh, it takes so long to get there.
L3.
LL Cool.
3L. 3L. Any 3L fans,
Yeah.
forgive me. But I like L3, actually. It
Yeah,
sounds
L3.
like a sort of a Spanish boy band.
Isn't it also a Leicester postcode, though?
It's actually a district in Liverpool.
L3?
Yeah.
Is it?
Anyway.
Hello
You're
to
right,
everyone in
you're
L3.
right.
Anyway.
Leicester is LE3, yeah.
So I asked him when it was on, and he said, "Oh no, it's early evening." And I said, "I'm surprised that you get to watch it, as a driver."
Mm-hmm.
He said, he said with Sky now you can record anything." And I thought, "You're recording location. Somebody actually." Again, I've never seen it. Might be brilliant, but then he said,
Your series recorded Atlantis without
I
even
am.
having seen it.
"Yeah, that's what you call faith." But anyway, he said, "I called my wife up," he said, "and I handed the phone over to Phil Spencer. She recognised his voice immediately."
Yeah.
He said she was absolutely thrilled to bits. So I thought, well, we've been in the car 15 minutes. When are you going to call the wife? No sign.
Oh, no.
sorry. And then, by now, to be honest, I'm going to open my heart now because I regard our readers as close friends.
Absolutely.
There was a voice inside me saying, surely you should be more excited to have me in the car
Than Phil
the
Spencer.
presenter of L3. Now I know that's a piece of arrogance on my part. I'm just fessing up with what I was thinking. I thought surely this is a bigger deal.
I really respect you for such a humiliating admission.
Yeah. But and then he said to me, people are very different, aren't they, when you meet them when they're not on telly. And I thought, he's going to be a bit of gossip about Phil Spencer. He said, you're very funny on telly.
He did not say that.
Yeah. And I thought, well, that's good that he says that, but now I'm thinking I better up my game in the back of the cab here,
Yeah.
because obviously I'm not as funny as he hoped.
Start riffing on stuff. Like,
Yeah.
as you're driving past, going, trees, yeah. The funny thing about trees, eh?
Hey?
You could have just started riffing about
I
things
could have
that you were
done.
going by. That would
Yeah,
have been
driving
Can I
out.
just say,
It's not
06...
an area of strength.
You know
for
the one
though.
thing you never see in glove compartments?
069, just left work at Leo Casino, L3. What a location.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Just left work at the casino, imagine that.
Don't have to imagine it, darling. 1996.
Oh, fantastic. Eh?
Oh.
As the roulette ball starts to find its final.
Oh, I thought Shepherd walked in.
How brilliant. So, yeah, I was a bit hurt by that. And then, this guy was, I can't tell you how much he was into location. I mean, he loved it. He was telling me about strands on the show, the way it had changed over the years.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. And then when we got to my flat, he said, you must have a great view from here. I said, well, you know what they say. Location.
Oh.
Nothing.
Absolute Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Poor Cockrell, he's been doing his stretches, sacroiliac relief. Did you see it,
He's
Frank?
still getting a bit of sacro problem.
Just a little. It's on the mend.
Okay.
He had his legs up on
Listen
the
to
window
it.
ledge.
Listen
and
to
that-
mine.
It does sound bad.
Oh, by the way, naked listeners, Mark...
I think they thought you were addressing them then, the naked listeners. They were probably all their ears pricked up when they heard that, I should think.
Ditto, naked. That's from Nugget.
Okay.
So we've got 2 naked listeners.
I think we've got one.
Any more? Just, don't keep it to
I
yourself.
suppose it was inevitable. I've never thought about it before.
At this time of day.
It's an inevitability.
Do you remember when Daisy always wanted me to ask what people were doing as they listened to the show? And I said, that's a bit commercial radio.
Yeah, I like that.
Should I have done it?
No, I think we did do it.
Okay, how did it go?
Put it this way.
Went all right.
I think we'd have a little bit more silverware in the cabinet had we gone down that road.
You know what? The laugh is my award.
Oh, doesn't feed me. Frank, I had an incident
I'll
with a
feed
cab
you if you
driver. No, please don't. I had an
You
incident.
passed me that really long spoon I always keep in my...
Wow.
Do you want to know about my cab driver incident?
Just a second. You know that bag with my shooting stick in it? I keep like a long spoon in there for feeding of others. Sorry.
So I got in the cab. I get in the cab.
I've looked up.
I've looked up. I've got in the cab. I've seen the driver. So he checked my name. He said, Emily Dean. I said, yes. He said, all right, hello. I said, hi, how are you? He said, thought I recognised that voice. You're on the Frank Skinner show, aren't you?
No.
I went, well, he's got my name, to be fair, as well.
People
Do you
listen.
think he'd Googled you?
I said, I braced myself for the compliments, as one does. I went, yeah, it's me, you got me there. He went, yeah, don't really like it.
Oh.
Well,
I said, right. Said exactly like that. I said, right.
I can believe that of
He
you.
said, well, this is where it gets worse. I love Frank Skinner.
oh.
I love Frank Skinner.
I'll say oh, but obviously
Delighted.
I'm warming to him now.
Delighted. Yeah.
Yeah, I've stopped listening now.
I love Frank Skinner. But that show, I just don't get it.
Oh.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work for me. What he meant was, I just don't work for him.
What he meant was he couldn't swim. Sorry, it's an advert from the early 70s.
The atmosphere went very frosty after
I
that.
bet it did, yeah.
He said, don't worry, no offence, love.
Why bring it up?
No
I know.
offence.
No offence. Masses of offence.
Yeah.
Oh,
Said
well.
something offensive.
He said, I'm picking up a celebrity tomorrow.
Oh.
Not Phil Spencer.
Anthony Costa from Blue.
No, was it?
I said,
Okay.
oh, yeah. I said, well, are you a fan of his work? I kept coming out with these little jabs.
Yeah.
I really didn't like him. And then he started talking about
He
foreigners.
said, I like Anthony Costa, but Blue. I don't get it.
He talked about foreigners.
He said, we were talking about Paolo Di Canio and his slightly mental behaviour this week.
Yeah.
And he said something weird as well about the football. He said, does your fella take you?
Oh.
I had asked to go to 1973, to be fair.
Yeah.
But he said it. Then he was saying, he said, yeah. He said the thing is, trouble with him, he's employed too many foreigners. I said, well, he is a foreigner.
Yeah.
that's where you've misunderstood a crucial
Italian
element
signs
here.
Italians shock.
He said, yeah, it's a problem with these foreigners.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
really.
And then I thought, you know what? I'm so glad this man doesn't like our show.
Well, I don't want to write him off. I think, to me, nobody's perfect. Let's face it.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
Come on, talk to me.
Well, I was about to read out a text from some character who says, I hate to buck the trend, but I always listen in my pants. Is that okay?
I think that's fine.
It's fine.
By the way, good morning, Emily. I make nice tea.
Nice.
Oh.
Smooth.
How many of us can say that? I make great tea.
I make good tea, and if I was a civilian now, like a Joe Public, I'd probably be listening in my boxer shorts.
I don't think I'd be listening.
As you know, I prefer a boxer short, but when doing sporting activities, I like to be held. Something I've mentioned on here before.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's worth reminding you.
I'm fine. You know, I have a special harness.
Jock strap.
No, it's a bit beyond that.
Oh, is it?
It's more structured.
Is it a
It's a bit
publicist?
like that. It's not a million miles away from that thing that Hannibal Lecter wears.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Anyway.
talking of pants,
Yeah.
well, pants over trousers. Did you see that Superman guy? Well, I say Superman. He's had surgery to make himself look like Superman.
Oh, yeah, he did. I thought he'd done rather a splendid job. Not that... It's a bit hard to say what Superman looks like.
Yeah.
Because
What
Because
actor?
even in the comics, he's looked several different ways. And then in the films, as you say, there's been a few of them.
Yeah.
I mean, does he look like George Reeves?
no.
No.
He's had 19 different surgeries.
Yes. We should say his name's Herbert Chavez. He's 35. And the tabloids have been very interested in him. I think it's because his name is Chavez. I think the tabloids are interested in
Yeah.
just...
Well, he only ever wore the one shirt,
Did he?
the red shirt, yeah.
But 19 operations to look like...
He's from the Philippines as well.
What he should have gone for was been much cheaper, would be to look like Spider-Man. All you had to buy then was a bit of Velcro. Not Velcro, what they call it? Lycra.
Yeah, lycra.
Yeah.
Velcro would have... Actually, Velcro would have been good for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could have been up the side of the building like there was no tomorrow.
I mean, we're assuming that the building is covered in the other side of the Velcro there, aren't we?
Well, I think they are in the Philippines.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Do you know what was
It's
it?
not actually that stuff, but it's a sort of a weed. I think it's called something like Velcroni.
Oh, yeah, Velcro.
And it grows up the
It's
side.
not.
Italian Velcro all over the...
What about, did you see, though, this was a bit heartbreaking, there was a video of him doing his thing. He does appearances for, at local shopping centres, places like that.
Okay.
But they play the Superman music, but you see, he can't really do anything. He just stands there.
It's pretty
so
hard.
he poses a bit like... is it Mr. Atlas? What's he called?
Yeah.
Charles Atlas.
Charles Atlas. He poses like that, and then looks like he's about to take off, and then doesn't.
Oh.
And the children's faces are a bit disappointed.
Yeah, he needs to sort that out. Perhaps he could have some flight-based operations.
He's got the blue contact lenses as well. that Naomi Campbell.
I tell you what he has gone for, which I like, that old-fashioned, the strand of hair that comes down the middle of the forehead, you
Oh,
know
yeah.
that?
Yeah.
That's good. It's
What's
got a
that
sort of...
called? Is it called like a spit bang curl or something? There's some phrase for it, isn't there?
I call it.
Shut up.
I thought there was.
It's a bit of a Danny Zuko thing.
It always reminds me of that. Who was that northern girl in the beret who used to sing? Lisa
Stansfield.
Lisa Stansfield.
yeah.
She had one of those. She had a very finely developed kiss curl, they call it. don't
Oh, maybe.
When people have greasing hair, I call it the smoking gun. That little bit.
Right.
they? Oh dear. Oh dear. Are we on air yet?
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Frank, I do want to return to the issue of Superman lookalike Herbert Chavez.
Who
I
wouldn't?
thought you were going to say Alan Cochrane then.
But before we do that, something quite odd happened in the last musical break because we were talking about what we were wearing around the house. It was to do with, I think, other listeners being naked, some of our listeners being naked.
Yeah.
And the cockerel reminded me.
Can I say the naked listeners wouldn't be a bad...
Yeah.
Well, we've had a few texts from
In fact,
listeners who are
the
naked.
naked readers, wouldn't that be a great name for a
Yes.
band?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not sure.
It's an extension of the Topless Book Club with these so carry on.
Anyway, and then the cockerel reminded me of something, a fact about you. What was the fact, cockerel?
That Frank sleeps in just a pyjama top. And I know this.
With nothing else.
Yeah, it's from the same school as Top Cat and Donald Duck. But if you're wearing something on top, the other stuff's
It's
so
not-
far away from your face, it doesn't seem to
It's
exist.
not the
on
same
one level.
school. Because they look very different downstairs.
Yes,
What,
but
cartoon ducks?
this I wouldn't. Don't
They
get
don't
me
look
wrong.
like-
I wouldn't answer the door to Parcel Force.
Yeah.
In
room
just my
service
pyjama
if you're in a
jacket.
hotel.
Or room service.
Thanks for
Indeed.
my breakfast.
One thing you haven't answered, how long is the top?
Oh,
Well, it
How long
depends
is it?
what your perspective is, really. Some might say too long. most would probably say, not quite long enough.
Is it like a frock coat from the Victorian era? Is it that sort of thing?
No,
Oh, dear.
it's
talking belt
sort
length.
of, how can I put this? If you can imagine if I stood on my head and it stayed where it was,
Yeah.
the coat, the pyjama thing, the whole thing would look a bit like a Punch and Judy show.
Oh my God.
OMG. But, I'm in bed.
Exactly.
I'm not. I
That's,
imagine
nice. That's nice for Kathy.
It'll be a good 15 years before I start going out the house dressed like this.
Give it 10.
You don't ever wear slippers with that, do you? That is awful.
I haven't worn slippers for a long time. I did have some, when I lived with David Baddiel, I had some Zebedee slippers.
Oh, yeah.
Based on the cartoon character, those big stuffed slippers.
Mm-hmm.
But generally speaking, I associate slippers with a whole different type of person.
Right.
I had some Barcelona FC slippers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they sound nice.
But I can't.
Not highly flammable.
I can't wear those. You know those sort of Adidas sort of flip-flop type things people wear around the house.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, men wear those with a robe, a black waffle robe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they're also, you see, it's a bit.
It's a bit Gary Neville.
It's a bit football hooligan, a broad look.
Is it?
Those things, yeah. So no.
I'm in the
But
market
the
for a
pyjama
pair
top,
of
the
them,
nice
actually.
thing with the pyjama top is well, you got the breast pocket for anything. You know,
Yeah.
you might need in the
Look,
night.
you could put trousers on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
you
full
know.
suit.
Or
If I,
pants.
Suit.
if I want to put trousers on, I might as well just stay awake all the time.
Can I just say, I slept in just socks the other night. Weird.
Did you?
Yeah. I got in thinking, these will keep my feet warm, it'll be toasty, and then I went right off, went to sleep. I think I've read recently in an article that if you keep your socks on for a little while, you go to sleep quicker. And then I thought I'll give that a try, and I slept the whole night, nothing but socks.
Is that all you wore?
Crazy.
I slept
Crazy
in,
times
in
for me.
just orange and yellow hooped knee socks once.
Did you?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you both?
Once.
I'm immaculate when I get into bed.
And a whole bunch of readers then caught of their breath waiting for the next bit. You gonna tell us or not?
No.
Okay.
Well,
Oh,
will I tell you or won't I?
I tell you what, you have to think about it. I don't want you to say anything you might regret.
Okay.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
So I think you left them saying that you were immaculate when you went to bed, and now, like, the end of this isn't going to be that you wear, like, one of those full surgical robes, is it? When I say immaculate, I mean
Scrubs.
I'm clean to hospital standards, yeah.
It'd be great if you went to bed in scrubs just in case.
I'll tell you what I go to bed in.
Do you want some background music for
Yeah,
this?
go on.
Okay, let me see what we've got. What does Emily go to bed in?
Right, you could have played sexy music. This makes me sound...
I prefer slightly chilling.
Well, it can get slightly chilly because in the summer I wear nothing.
My God, has music ever been synchronised quite as well as that?
But
It's
then
nothing, okay.
in the winter, and this is already starting, I won't lie, I'll wear a
Onesie.
t-shirt,
Okay.
sometimes a nightie. I do have
The
PJs.
nighties still exist.
Well, it's more like a nice camisole thing,
Okay.
more negligee.
You wouldn't wear a baby doll. Okay.
And I definitely wouldn't wear a pyjama top without a bottom. I'd be more inclined to wear the bottom without the top, if I'm honest.
Okay. No.
Okay.
But never mind that. But what about the piece de resistance on the feet?
Well, occasionally, in both seasons, I will sometimes wear a moisturising sock. What I'll do is
Let
put
me
a
stop you there. A moisturising sock.
Yes, I'll put a face mask on my foot, and then I'll
Face
cover
mask
it.
on your foot.
Yeah, really immerse it in the moisture overnight, And then I'll put the moisturising sock, get them from the Body Shop for about £8, or then you
Okay.
could go more
But
upscale.
Other body
Yeah.
things are available.
£8, eh?
Or about £40 to £50 if you want the full-on cashmere moisturising sock.
Whoa.
It does. Their feet will be like silk, Frank, the next morning.
Well, I've always dreamt of silk feet. So I like the idea of selling them with spices in the Middle East. You want to buy some silk feet?
Aren't they only silk for about 10 minutes, and then you walk about the house and suddenly they're...
My feet are more Robert Kilroy silk.
Yeah, you've got quite nice feet, Frank.
But they used to be great, but they're becoming they're taking on the sort of tortoise-like carrot pace at the base.
Like Man United. It used to be great, but...
Yeah, not so good at the back. But what about the mask then? What is that?
It's intended for the face, but I drench the foot in it because I want it to soak up all that moisture.
So what moisture did you put on there? Like
Fantastic.
baby lotion or cream or what is it?
This is getting too
What is it?
technical. This is starting to get... I didn't like that question.
Water?
Sordid.
What? No, it wasn't
It was.
sordid. It
Oh,
was
tell me about the cream, yeah.
more information gathering.
I mean, come on! No, let's keep it jolly.
It was information gathering.
Yeah,
That
no, it
fine.
was. No, it was.
People want answers.
It's the police. Can we get
about
back to Superman? I can't
Yeah.
breathe.
Okay.
Well, we had a thing recently where we all had a conversation about who we would like to look like celebrity-wise.
yeah.
And Superman did not come up, but the
No.
moment Emily asked me, which celebrity would you like to look like, Cockrell, I answered Ryan Gosling way too readily.
You did.
And everybody sort of looked up as if to go, oh, I see, you've thought about this in some
Exactly,
detail.
that's something you've been daydreaming
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Can I
if I
say,
Yeah.
what a fine choice.
Yeah,
I was really
yeah.
impressed by that.
Who
And
did you
You're not a
choose?
million miles away, Cockerel.
Thank you.
That's what he's what he's thinking.
I am
isn't it?
about
Yeah.
a million miles
'Cause
away there.
The Cockerel being a complete skinflint is thinking, which celebrity can I
dare
get
you.
to in the least amount of surgical moves?
Well, if I wanted to save money on procedures, obviously it would be Leslie Joseph.
Yeah.
However, given that
I'd-
I'm happy to splash the cash,
Yeah.
read the procedures, I'd go... Well, I did say in this discussion Abby Clancy, didn't I?
You did?
But I think I might change that, because I like her, but I'm not sure about her at the moment.
Okay.
I would go for Mila Kunis.
Nice.
Okay.
Frank Skinner?
For me, I can't quite decide between...
No, I was saying I'd like to look like him as well.
Oh, okay. I would, either abs or,
Hi!
yeah, either abs or George Orwell.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. Text us 8 12 15. Tweet us at Frank on the Radio. Email us the Absolute Radio website.
Edburn, do you know what I'd like to know from our lovely readers? We've been talking about who we'd like to look like. Now, I've gone Mila,
I went Ryan Gosling
and Frank went Abs,
or George Orwell.
or George Orwell.
Yeah, Abs, I like the way Abs has become a new age character.
Has he?
And he looks like he's a mystic, a guru of some kind.
And does he?
His whole facial structure seems to take on a little tiny beard. And also I don't know how quick his hair grows, but he seems to go from thick hair to shaved hair back to thick hair in a trice.
That's good, isn't it?
George Orwell, I've always liked very short back and sides. And
You have, actually, a bit W.H. Auden.
yeah, and I've dreamt really of a tash. I don't know if I can do a strong enough one, but a little tash. You know, a sort of Peaky Blinder look.
Be a little bit
crack.
Be a little bit careful with tashes. Do you know what I mean? Just unfortunate connotations in so many areas of history.
Well, like I always say, I didn't know. I liked ice skating until about 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I never closed the door. What else? What about going to Email Corner?
I think that's a lovely idea.
I'll tell you what, one thing about the Superman, he had pec implants. I have fantasised
Oh,
about
yeah.
that in the past.
Oh, yeah,
Why didn't you
like
just
that,
get
wouldn't
one of those suits? They have them. They come ready-made with them.
I know,
you? Well,
but
that's what he's done, isn't it?
Yeah.
I have got the classic pirate yarn sunken chest, and it would be lovely one day to be able to put a T-shirt on with a slogan on and read the whole thing instead of the horrible sort of dilated.
Oh.
So If I was going to have any surgery done, here's a good text.
Yeah, what surgery would
If I
that
was going to have any surgery done, I think I'd go heart
go
bypass. No, I'd go for a pec implant.
Lovely.
Really?
What am I doing?
I'd go straight to calf muscles. Big Henry VIII calf muscles.
Oh, you don't need those, Corporal.
Honestly, I'd get them so big they'd distort the rest of my legs. Never mind the 501s
you
that
don't
I
want
can't
that.
get over my
You don't
thighs.
want-
I'd get them.
Don't-
I'd get calf
don't
muscles
do that.
so big I
hate
couldn't
big-
wear skinny
no,
jeans.
I hate
Honestly,
that.
No,
I
don't
hate-
do that.
I love that.
I really hate that.
Absolutely.
You know, when you
Would
see
you?
someone in jeans and the calf area is really, really taut,
It's
Yeah.
a bit Gordon Ramsay, that.
No.
it's a bit missing link. Let's hear it. Is the creaking getting on your nerves yet?
Not bothering me, but I've got a bad sacroiliac, so that's like the music of my life, that, just hearing
Oh,
that clicking.
He's been standing up.
I have, yeah. Re your show, July 6, 2013. Frank asked the question, do many Buddhists listen to the show? I'm pleased to say
It
I'm
wasn't
a
one of our
Buddhist.
best texting.
I like it.
He's a Buddhist.
I'm pleased to say I'm a Buddhist who listens to the
You said
show
Buddhist.
regularly on
Why
a
did you say
podcast.
Buddhist? It's Buddhist.
Buddhist.
You said Buddhist as well. Both
Buddhist.
of you.
Buddhist.
Yeah.
It's not Buddhist.
Well, you want me to say Buddhist? Yeah, he worships Buddha. Is that how you want me to say it?
I would say Buddhist.
Okay.
What
I'm
about-
pleased to say I'm a Buddhist.
What about when... Have you ever read a Buddhist Ripper? One of those. They're quite violent, actually.
Can a Buddhist text in and tell us whether it's Buddhist or
Buddhist.
Buddhist?
No, I think... I know some people say Buddhist. That the
I'm going to say
American.
Buddhist from now on now.
Look, let's call the whole thing an Eastern religion.
Potato, potato, I always say. And I'm a Buddhist who listens to the show regularly on podcasts, Buddhist, and find it very amusing, he's added
That
in
sounds
brackets
even
there.
more northern. I'm a Buddhist. And I like a good book about it.
So there is at least one of us, he continues,
Dalai Lama.
read the suitability of the show for Buddhist listeners. Strictly speaking, such entertainment as your show, whilst being of undeniable quality and wit, are you listening, taxi drivers? Undeniable quality and wit should be appreciated sparingly, as according to the Buddha's teachings, time is always better spent seeking inner peace through quiet contemplation and reflection.
I know there's a Buddhist saying, isn't there? A dog, you don't judge a dog as a good dog because it's a good barker.
Is that right?
Is that right?
And human beings being the same. Just because someone can come on here and make silly noises with their larynx
Yeah.
doesn't make them an important person. But I've got to say to you, it's what's the name of this Buddhist?
Called Andy.
He continues, sorry about that. Anyway, there's not many things I prefer, brackets, wasting my time, close brackets, doing speech comments, than listening to your show. It's great. That's another thing about the Buddhists. They reckon there's no such thing as wasted time, do they?
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah,
To me, it feels like a caveat.
No.
so that
What
you
about
can't
even
If
if
more
you
of
want-
them listen to this, they might reform that opinion. The dog thing, if you think about it, the dog, you don't judge a dog by whether it's a good barker, is basically the Buddhists have taken a sort of anti-banter stance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you took banter out of life, what would we have left? I like it though, but you know, it's not easy to talk about inner peace on here when you know the Kings of Leon are just around the corner.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
We've had a text in. This is from Alexander 671. He calls himself.
Okay.
What surgery would I have? Without a doubt, a hair transplant. My mum's dad lost his hair when he was 19. I'm 14, so may only have 5 years left with my precious locks. That's Alexander 671.
Does it work, that skipping a generation baldness thing?
I think it is your mum's dad, isn't it?
All I would
Well,
say,
the transplants work
Alexander,
now.
is when I was about 14, I was very aware of my hair. A lot of hair in the comb, and a lot of hair. I used to stop up the sink when I washed my hair, and I thought, I'm definitely going bald.
Really?
I'm now 56.
You've still got your hair, love.
Yeah, it's lovely, mate. It's lustrous. I'm like a big lion. So don't give up yet, Alexander. And also, apparently women really like bald men.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought I could get through that without. Oh, God, sorry everyone.
I mean, I loathe my hair. I think it's really boring.
I loathe your
Why?
hair as well. It looks like the hair of a 8-year-old.
It's really boring.
Frank,
Straight,
that's so
isn't it? It's
bad
just
mannered.
terrible.
No, but it's got no
that's
product
fine.
in it. You know the way kids. You know, it's like he hasn't discovered product yet.
No, it's
No,
'cause
it is a bit,
It's
you know.
'cause I came here on my bike and I just couldn't be bothered putting product in
It's so
before.
fluffy.
I just thought, I'm going to put a hat on for the
I
cycle.
he got very upset though whenever Daisy and I discussed, which we were earlier, we said, our conversation topic was, how do you like Cockerell's hair best, Daisy?
I
didn't
think
like it.
Cockerell has to endure a certain amount of sexual harassment at work. So I really like this look, this current look, Cockerell. Yeah, and the way you say Cockerell with the emphasis in the wrong
Yeah.
stress line.
I'm sorry, Cockerell.
Yeah. I mean, if we started doing that, you know, if we started saying,
I'd love
Emily.
I mean, as
Hey.
my
I wish you would.
as my face atrophies, I caught myself the other day because I'm getting eye wrinkles, and I thought, it'd be good when I need to wear glasses. They'll hide those, and then I thought it'd be good when I go bald because I won't have to deal with not liking my hair. But I don't think I'm going to go bald, and I quite like a beard, and it'd be very low maintenance face with the glasses, a bald head, and
Yes.
perhaps a stubbly beard.
I'll tell you
It's a good
something.
idea.
But I realised that essentially what I've thought is that I'd like to look like Moby. You know,
Would
the
you?
bald hair, a
Yes.
bit of stubble and thick glasses.
Yes.
Moby is the look I'm going for. That's a weird one, isn't it?
Moby.
Moby.
Oh,
Moby.
sorry.
He's a Buddhist, isn't he?
I don't
He
know
is.
what he is really,
I
but
think he might be.
Yeah, he will have.
can I say, by the way, glasses don't cover eye wrinkles.
Don't
I
they?
used to think that.
Oh.
You need at least,
That is annoying.
at the very
You need
least,
surgery.
a Lone Ranger mask.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I had an email in, Frank, from Kelly. She says, She says, I'm always jealous with when people, usually ladies, write in and they have a song with their name in. Most recently, Amanda, as Frank then sings that song.
Amanda. Stuart Gillis.
As far as I know, no, but thanks for the tip, there is only one song with my name in it, and it's about a man called Ned Kelly, which Frank did sing when I wrote him once before. I've always wanted a great song with my name in it.
Oh,
like my
I don't think I know a song about Ned Kelly.
Well, apparently you sung it.
Does she mean, has anybody here seen Kelly?
Maybe she does.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's about a man from... Well, I'll tell you what it goes. Has anybody here seen Kelly? K-E-L-L-Y. Has anybody here seen Kelly? And this is the bit which I think makes it clear that it's not Ned Kelly, the Australian outlaw. Kelly from the Isle of Man.
Yeah, that is.
I don't
blue,
know.
isn't
I
it?
bet there are songs about Ned Kelly.
Yeah. But
There's a
you
good
didn't
book
sing
about
one.
Ned Kelly, isn't there? There's a good book about it.
Yes.
There's a film with Mick Jagger, I believe.
Is it?
Yes.
Now, anyway, Kelly's not
Is that
done.
the Ned Kelly shop closed? No, Ned Kelly merch.
Oh, I doubt that.
I've got a Ned Kelly keyring.
Have you?
It's just the metal mask. You know, he wore like a tin pot over his head.
Oh, yeah, I used to have nightmares about him when I was a kid.
Ah.
Him and, who was the other one? Lou Reed.
Ned Kelly and Lou Reed.
Yeah. Unhappy bedfellows, as it turned out.
Yeah.
I've always wanted...
That's because Ned Kelly only wore a pyjama jacket. And the mask. Yeah, carry on,
I've
Kelly.
always wanted a great song with my name in it, like my sister Deborah. I instead put my name into songs and pretend it's Kelly instead, such as Mandy and Kaylee. Have the team ever heard of a song I'm in? Lots of love, one of your regulars, Kelly. I don't
Where
know.
does
any
Kelly's Eye come? Because there was Kelly's Eye it was a comic strip, but I always thought it must have been something before that. Have you heard of the phrase Kelly's Eye? They used to say at the bingo call-in when I was a kid. We used to go to the Catholic bingo.
Oh, yeah. Is that the one where your dad said he'd kill the man if he found out he was cheating?
No, that was the balls.
Oh, sorry, I do get confused with
He
which
didn't- it was-
gambling you were doing that
It was
week.
just me and my mum went to the Catholic bingo. Some weeks she had 2 books.
What
but
happened
anyway.
if you're a Protestant and you turned up?
Well, it'd be difficult because the whole thing was in Latin.
Oh, okay.
No, it wasn't. The Cockerell went for that. I really brilliant. But they used to say Kelly's Eye #1.
Oh, yeah.
And then they had another man who decided he was going to move on, and he used to go, Kelly's Optic,
Oh.
#1, eh? Clever. So, but where? If anyone knows the origin of Kelly's eye, I'd love to hear it. I'm not being rude about the woman who texted in, by the way. I'm just. What about Kelly the elephant packed her trunks?
That's a good option.
Yeah.
There's also, my sister Kelly. She sang loads of songs that got in the charts.
Did she?
Yeah, R. Kelly.
I'm just going to go to the next song now because we can't top that. I want to come back to Kelly because I've just thought of another song.
Okay.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We're still with Kelly,
Yeah.
who is bemoaning the fact that she doesn't have any songs with Kelly in it.
But Kelly, cheer up, because we've had a few text-ins from the listenership, the readers. 871 says, "Hey guys, what about Kelly's Heroes by Black Grape?" There you go.
I don't know that.
It's got Kelly in it.
And I've got the greatest hits.
And 967 said Air did a song called Kelly Watch the Stars.
Check it out, Kelly. I love the fact that Kelly hasn't Googled. No, I do love that. I love it when people don't Google.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could Google Kelly's eye now and find out where it comes from. I'm not doing it. Simply not doing it. I don't know how much this helps, but I used to go to an Indian pub in Langley Green in the West Midlands.
Mm-hmm.
And there used to be, I'm going to slightly do the voice here, but I think it'd be alright because it's musical.
Okay.
There used to be a
I
song.
feel tense. But
The song, let's just take it. Honestly, it's okay. The song used to go, Charlie Kelly Kelly, Charlie Kelly Kelly, Charlie Kelly Kelly, Charlie Kelly. And I don't know if they were actually saying Charlie Kelly, but that's what it sounded like.
Right.
So it'd be Charlie, our new assistant producer, and Kelly could share that in a fabulous two-hander.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
The songs on
You
the
must feel
jukebox.
so blessed.
They were sort of Bollywood songs, and the endings on them were... I may have mentioned this before on the show, but I was always fascinated. They sort of go, Charlie Kelly Kelly. That was how they ended. It's like the engineer had gone, where's the scissors? This is long enough now.
They're not fans of the fade.
No, they were anti-fade. So, yeah, Charlie Kelly. But so we got Charlie Kelly, Kelly's Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other one by Air?
A song by Air.
Um,
We can't remember all these things.
Anyway, that's all.
Kelly
good.
Watch the Stars.
Kelly Watch the
I've got
Stars.
loads of stuff.
And there's no
It
songs with
seems-
Alan, by the way, especially with a U, like mine is spelled Alan.
It's not very.
It's not.
It's not a very romantic name though.
The nearest I can think of is You Can Call Me Al. And that's,
Oh, yeah, that's
the
good.
closest.
Well, you're
I don't
lucky
think
to
there's
have
any
that.
other Alan.
Buddy, can you spare me a dime?
No, I can't.
that
do this during a record.
That would not be a good song for you.
Can I just say the least surprising answer of the decade?
But do you know that song when he says, say, don't you remember you called me Al when it was Al all the time?
Oh, no, I don't mean that one.
There must be one.
Depressing.
I meant the Paul Simon one, isn't it?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
There's loads of Emily's.
There's that one, Alan, you are so beautiful.
Oh, that's
Good.
nice.
Alan, you look like Fallon from Falcon's Crest.
Are you okay?
Extraordinary song.
What's Fallon in Falcon's Crest?
No, she's in Dynasty.
Oh, that's why that song never caught on.
And it's called Falcon Crest.
Anyway, we found a few... was it? The whole thing was awful. We come up with some answers for Kelly. It seems on reflection... Some people want to fill the world with Kelly love songs. What's wrong with that? I'd like to know. Come on. So here I go
Everybody.
again. Charlie Kelly Kelly. Charlie Kelly Kelly. Anyway, look, we can carry on like this all day. Will they let us? It's the amazing thing about it.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
I'm creaking now, Frank.
Comes to us all.
Creaking bedfellows. Hey, what about...
Is that like Peaky Blinders?
Which I just said I didn't watch.
Yes. I think you should say the full thing.
No, I'm not going to say what I
And
said.
Daisy said, did you watch Peaky Blinders, Emily? And Emily said...
No.
Do you want me to do it? I can play you.
You do it.
Do I look like I watch Peaky Blinders? Well, that's a bit northern, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do I look like I watch Peaky Blinders?
And then...
I've got £1,000 shoes on.
But not really £1,000.
No, sure, don't try and dig your way out of it.
Temper it.
They're about
It's all right.
About $6.80.
It's fine.
Gary and Woolwich.
Plus you get a
Primark?
work discount, don't you?
Yeah, Primani.
Think what you could have got in Primark for 680 quid. That would have been your clothes for the rest of your life.
I think you'll find that would have been a management buyout, technically. Gary and Woolwich says, what about Mother Kelly's doorstep?
There you go. If you don't mind the mother bit on the front.
Yeah.
On Mother Kelly's doorstep. I thought I'd put in the bit of Cockney. Lovely.
He then inserts praise, which I won't read out.
Got a little hole in her sock, hole in her shoe, a hole in her frock, hole in her shoe,
No
hole
hole
in
in-
her sock where her toe peeps through.
Not in these shoes, this price.
Speaking of socks, when we're talking about when we sleep, or what we
yeah.
sleep in before.
In
Yeah.
moisturising
I,
socks.
I go moisturising socks.
I sometimes moisturise my socks, but not deliberately. What I do is I don't actually like sleeping in socks. I find them constricting. You know what I mean? I feel trapped. So what I'll do is I'll sleep in socks, and then when I wake up in the night, I'll kick them off.
Yeah.
And the feeling of... Oh, it's like when Mandela came out. It is.
not.
It is. It's exactly like... In fact, for me, it's a bigger deal.
Hang on.
No disrespect, but I'm being honest now.
None taken, I'm sure.
No.
Do the socks.
It was great when he came out, but it's not like when you kick your socks off midnight.
How horrible for Kath, though. Horrible little socks at the end of the bed. Oh.
Kath's socks are everywhere.
Are they?
Kath wears those trainer socks.
Yes, she
and they're
does.
all-
I've seen them.
They're all over the house, everywhere.
Like mouse droppings.
Yeah, they are, like white mouse droppings. If you can imagine that big mouse with sort of hollowish, flaccid droppings open at one end.
Sponsored by a sports company.
Yeah. Well, I think they're Primark as well, actually.
Oh, God.
We like to support as many sweatshops as we can.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
We've sashayed back towards email corner, haven't we? I've got an email to read
Yeah.
out. I've got misgivings about the opening line, Nick.
Misgivings would be a great name for a primary school teacher.
Hi, Frank, Divine Miss M, and the FQ Cockerel. What
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Fairly cute.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Okay.
Last week you were talking about a man who dressed all in silver, including face paint, and Frank referred to him as his silver nemesis. Was this a deliberate reference to the title of Doctor Who's 25th anniversary story?
Oh,
See, I have a
Frank.
suspicion about you
I didn't
and this
know.
sort of thing. I think you drop this sort of thing into
No, I
casual
don't.
conversation
I
all
don't.
the time.
I really disapprove. I mean, that one was, I must admit. But I really disapprove of that. I mean, Chris Packham is a lovely bloke from Country Farm. But remember, he used to do Smith's titles every week.
Did he?
And I can't... And I've seen footballers do it in interviews. They have
Yeah.
a bet they have to get...
Yeah.
like Phil Collins titles in or something, and I find it's a bit oh, shut your face,
Judd Alter.
because that's what I say to the telly when people do it. Oh, shut your face, when I realise. So yeah, I did do it last week, but it was a lapse,
Okay.
and I apologise for it. I'm not going to. Can I say as well? He wasn't my nemesis, because he sounded like he was a strange character, wasn't he? Who lived outside of
Yeah.
town, came down, made a slight nuisance of himself, and then went back home again. So he wasn't a nem. He was more of a sort of, I suppose, a sort of nightmare in silver.
Is that another one?
Yeah, that will be. Oh, it is. Oh, it's so wasted on us, isn't it? It's weird.
Can I ask a question?
Beat it,
Speaking
beat
of spray,
Oh,
Yeah.
Sophie Ellis Bextor
yes.
is doing.
Yes.
She's doing Strictly.
Yes,
now,
she
I didn't
is.
see Strictly last night. Did any of you?
SCD.
Oh, I did.
I always keep...
Now, the thing on Strictly... I was once in the dressing room at Strictly.
Were you?
Yes,
and-
I remember you telling me.
Most glamorous place I've ever been in my life. It was like being in a fabulous fairy tale. Lovely ladies, but like they were in sparkly gold dresses and their eyelashes dripped diamonds. It was just amazing. But everybody had been spray tanned.
Yeah.
Now, what I've always respected about and as you know, we had a bit of a moment, Sophie and I.
You did. So tread carefully, my friend.
Yes, but what I'm saying now, this is complimentary to her. She's always gone for that very pallid sort of goth.
I don't say
face.
pallid. Pallid sounds negative.
No, she
just
took
say
that
pale.
No, she took that decision now to have the sort
Yeah.
of goth thing.
Yeah.
Has she given in and gone golden brown? I wasn't doing it then. Has she gone golden brown for
SCD?
Not so far that I've seen.
that's
She's
quite.
stuck
She's
with
going to
it.
stand out.
Good on
She'll
her.
be like a 1 on a 1 blank domino.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because everybody is golden brown on it. I mean, that's just the way they do it.
Yeah.
Well, good old Sophie. I'm backing her now.
Okay.
Although you can't be watching, say, I hope the white one wins. You know what I mean? That's going to be... Unless you give the full explanation of what you're talking about, you're going to get yourself an awful reputation.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. I've got almonds in my teeth.
we all have. We've all had a bit of...
Almonds in my teeth,
Almond.
I know. You call them almonds?
I struggle to do that silent L that people do. You know, people, super confident people...
You
go,
struggle with Buddhist.
Buddhist. You do.
What about Moby?
Moby.
I like Moby.
How else can you say it? Moby. Moby's Moby.
I'm happy with it.
Do you know what I want to talk about? What about these newsreaders?
Yeah.
Have you noted them?
Yes.
Basically, there's been a bit of an incident at the BBC News headquarters, HQ. You know when they do the news and they have those glass panelled affairs, so you can see the innards?
Yes.
A bit like Dickie Davis' World of Sport used to have it. Someone would
Exactly.
occasionally bring on a white phone or something.
Yeah.
But nowadays, all the innards are exposed 24/7. So apparently, what's been happening, there's been a bit of a scandal because they've been in full view of everyone. They've been having fights with umbrellas. They were using them as pretend lightsabers, apparently, whilst they were reporting a flood.
Yeah, but can I stop you there?
You can.
That, to me, seems as a fabulous reflection of what life's all about.
Yeah.
That a man is talking about this awful flood in the foreground, and in the background there's 2 other men with umbrellas pretending they're lightsabers and acting the goat.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you've ever seen any of Bruegel's paintings, but if you take, for example, The Fall of Icarus...
One of my fave.
Yeah. You've got this boy falling out of the sky because he's flown too close to the sun in his false wings, and they've melted. And it says The Fall of Icarus. When you look at it, you think, hold on, where's Icarus? It's just like a scene with people ploughing and people generally knocking around, every day. And then in one corner, you just see a foot disappearing into the...
Oh, is that right?
And the whole point, is we think they're major tragedies to us, but life goes on. Life always
dear.
goes on. So there you go.
Oh, that's nice for the relatives of the survivors.
No, but the BBC News that reflects that.
The thing that surprised me
there's
about all
W.A.
of
Jordan poem, and it says, as the crucifixion's happening, the torturous horse is scratching its behind against a tree.
Yeah.
Life goes on.
Okay.
The thing that surprised me about
This is
all this
Absolute
was that
Radio.
Life goes on, apparently.
the Daily Mail found the time to print an anti-BBC story. That seems strange. Maybe they've got some kind of weird space in the paper, because they wouldn't normally do that. There's only like 10 or 11 a day. And I do think they're being a bit harsh on the BBC. One of their complaints is that somebody in the background was stretching at their desk. You think,
I don't like
what,
that.
You're not allowed to stretch.
They
if
were
you work
actually
in an
playing
office.
stretch with a pair of compasses.
Oh, well,
Did you ever do that?
But I tell
When you
you,
used to have to fire and you have to stretch your legs further and further and further.
but they also said there were people chomping on bananas.
Which is fine
I
as
think
well.
they mean eating bananas, don't they?
They said
You
chomping.
can't eat a banana in the workplace. Next year's Wimbledon will be different.
Yes,
The
it is. And what about the monkey house?
Yeah, I don't know if they consider that their workplace.
well, the start.
Let's face it, they're entertainers by nature.
That's their tax bracket.
But it reminds me, this fabulous juxtaposition of the tragic and the light-hearted.
Yeah.
When I hosted the Brits, as my
Very
career,
similar.
as my career
Someone
crumbled, people were coming up. I died. People were coming up and getting awards, and it was like one of the highlights of their career. And whereas I was like Yossarian at the end of Catch-22, walking down the street with a sailor punching a courtesan and a man whipping a fallen horse. So the two, as my career went down, theirs rose upward, and it was all together, just like on the news. You know what I'm talking about?
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
Now, these BBC characters, the newsroom, backroom staff, they've complained.
Yeah.
You see, they've said, we feel like pandas in a zoo.
Well, quite right too.
Not many of them about, though.
Well, also, they don't
should have
grope. They're a bit true love waits, pandas, aren't they?
They don't know anything, do they?
Well, put it this way, you're not going to get to first base on a first date with them.
Pandas do even less than the Buddhists, don't they? The Buddhists aren't doing a lot. They've barely even got time to listen to this podcast.
Well, the Buddhists have to be careful that they don't stand on anything.
Why don't they commit to the intimates, the pandas? What is that
I
about?
don't know. Nothing's black and white, is it? Also, aren't we now supposed to call them panda bears?
Are
That's
we?
what I've been told.
Oh,
What?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Political correctness gone mad. Why? What are we going to think?
Who
That
told
they're
you that
panda
then?
dogs or something? What?
Also, who said that? They're PRs.
Apparently, they are bears, and we've sort of forgotten that by calling them pandas.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm just telling you, don't shoot the messenger,
No.
as they used
Well-
to say on that radio, that Channel 5 show with Ian Wright and Melinda Messenger.
Oh, did they?
Righty and messengery.
It's one of ours.
Messy. They
Righty.
probably called her Messy, didn't they?
Yeah. Lionel.
Righty and Messy.
I mean, I feel for the BBC staff that are behind the screen, all carrying on with their job, forgetting that they're a bit on screen. One of the other things that the Daily Mail had a go at them about is that apparently there was someone who appeared to be nose-picking in the background. Now, I think it's one of the incontrovertible truths of life that it's okay to pick your nose behind a glass screen.
Can I say this is not Absolute's official policy? This is a
All
personally held
mine.
opinion.
All mine.
But, you see it all the time when two trains are next to each other, someone in the other carriage, they know they're being watched, but they're through a glass screen, so it's fine. People in cars always picking their nose because there's glass there. I thought it was just a thing that you're allowed
When you
to
say
pick
people,
on the-
you mean yourself.
Yeah, and others. But I've seen others do it. I don't mind having a good dig in there.
Oh, no.
If I've not had lunch.
It's making me feel sick.
But I think the
no.
BBC should be allowed to pick their nose if they're on the other side of a screen. That's all I'm saying,
I
Daily
think
Mail.
it's about time I really thought that. It's like when you get those pocket watches with the glass back so you can see
Yeah.
all the clock. Some people really like that, Or
don't.
I'm not. We've got a kettle, a see-through kettle.
Oh,
yes.
And I don't want to know about all that
No.
stuff that gets on the inside of a kettle. Out of sight, out of mind. I don't want to see
know
that
what I say,
that
right?
white stuff.
I want to eat the bacon sandwich. I don't want to see the pig being slaughtered.
Exactly. Yeah. If I had the choice, I'd probably watch the pig being slaughtered.
Rather than water boil.
Yeah, but it's less fattening and something I think you can tell people about forever. I had a pair of black chiffon boxer shorts.
Are we going back onto what you're sleeping?
No, I'm on about seeing the workings.
Oh, yeah.
And I found that some people, went for it, and some people, they didn't want to know the. It was a bit like I used to put them on, and then like Mike Yarwood, I'd go, and this is me, and it didn't always get the response I dreamt of.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
So, we've discussed my sacroiliac problem in the previous weeks, and a few
Yeah.
people...
Is it better now? Better-ish?
It's improving.
We should say the cockerel stands up during the music.
Yeah, but he
as
does
if-
that to be a shock jock.
I keep
We should-
thinking, yeah, he's gonna boogie.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
It's okay, it's improving, and I just want the people that have texted in previous weeks saying, you don't have to be a martyr to it, stretch and do this, it's fine. Yes, that's what I'm doing. But I've also been doing a bit of swimming. The osteopath said to me, you could swim, but don't do too much breaststroke, that'll aggravate it. Do front crawl. Now as you know, I'm not a dynamic go-getter. I've
No.
had.
Well, yeah, that's the part you project to the world.
Exactly, Frank.
I am a dynamic go-getter in sheep's clothing. I have had on my sort of mental to-do list to improve my front crawl for perhaps 20, 30 years.
Really?
Yeah, I just think it's one of those things. I'd like to be good at front crawl, so I've only found a woman, and I've been having a few lessons in swimming.
So
In
not
some
to
way-
learn to front crawl, but
No, in
Just
some
to
way
perfect your
inspired
stroke.
by Mr. Frank Skinner's learning to swim. I've gone to. I googled something like swimming improvement classes or something
you're
like that.
fine-tuning your
I'm fine tuning, but it
Feels
feels a bit
lovely
weird if
to
you
have that
can
much
swim.
spare time. Hey,
No,
I've got me back-to-back holidays out the way. I might fine-tune my
made
front
the
crawl.
time
A
for
little
it.
insight into the Cockerel's
I've made the time
diary
for it
there.
in order to improve my back. It seems like, well, this is the perfect time. If it's going to help, then I'll do it. So I've cleared my schedule.
Good on
I've
you.
turned down Room 101 so many times this week, it's untrue.
Yes.
I didn't like the sad noise from Daisy there.
I keep putting a word in for you.
It's okay, we talked
They
about it before.
laugh in my face.
Well, wait
we
till I can
stop?
swim better, they'll really book me then, won't they?
Can we just stop talking about this?
But you had swimming lessons, and you also... This
Yeah,
is the
but
thing,
I was going from
zero to hero.
zero to hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
But-
He
already.
didn't even do doggy paddle.
One of the things I know about you is before working with you on this little show, I heard you on
God.
I heard you on Desert Island Disc saying that you
Yeah,
thought
I had to
a
get a
person
boat. I
should-
couldn't swim there.
Very good. I heard you say that you think a person should always be having lessons in something.
Yeah,
I
he
do.
does.
I do agree with that. Yeah.
Now, if we take that,
That's
the
what he says
lessons
to his
I've
friends
had,
in the S&M community.
the lessons I've had over the years are actually mildly depressing. I've had like physical training lessons and various forms of fighting lessons, and now I'm having swimming lessons, but no like musical instruments or foreign languages or cookery, nothing. What does that say about me? That
I've
Oh,
done.
Frank's done so
I've
many.
done ukulele, guitar.
We've both done ice skating.
Horse riding,
No.
ice skating, drawing, French, German,
Can we
Really?
can we mention the tango?
tango,
That was
Oh, yeah,
unfortunate.
and salsa.
Oh no.
Oh God, yeah,
I've
Done
done
what?
ice skating.
Oh,
we did that together.
Yeah.
did you?
Yeah,
Really?
we did. We were
No.
like Torval and Dean. Well, Dean. I
Skinner and Dean.
never really sorted it out.
What?
The ice skating.
Dorville. Oh.
Did you get better?
I'm quite good.
Yeah, I never really worked it out. I'm just rubbish.
We've already established I've got a low centre of gravity, so I'm good at movement.
That really helped.
Like, what's his
That
name?
definitely like. It was like I had. She just went along on her bottom, and I ran in front of her with a brush, doing the ice.
Oh, good.
She went for miles.
You strike me as something of a butterfly man.
No,
No?
That'd be bad for your back, wouldn't it?
it would. It would
That,
at
you know,
this stage. I
who
think
does butterfly? It's such a show-off one, isn't it?
it's really physically taxing, isn't it? That's why they do it, to show that they can.
Does this count? On my audio, I listen to an audio book on a regular basis.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
just done listened to 36 half-hour lectures on the history of the Roman Catholic Church.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And
I don't think that counts as swimming.
I
It's
got it.
certainly
No,
a
it's a lesson.
lesson.
It's a lesson, isn't it?
Yes.
And I got into the office that I was working at, and the receptionist said, "Oh, what are you listening to?" And I said, 36 half-hour lectures on the history of the Roman Catholic Church. And she said, "Oh God, I'm listening to that as well." I said, "Oh, really?" And she went, "No." And I really was impressed by that joke. I completely fell for it.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
What's one about having lessons in stuff?
Yeah, and I think once I've fixed the old swimming front crawl, I'll just do purely front crawl. But then I might go on to cookery classes. This is, you say I am a
You
high
can swim
achieving
there.
go-getter.
If you
I'm
get
not.
one sort of near to a canal.
I could do that.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't do that. I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd like swimming outdoors in the
does this
wetsuit.
count? I've
Gross.
just paid for lessons for my child.
No.
Okay.
Okay, I
In
take
what?
him
To do what? To do the swimming
Swimming.
lessons?
to swim.
All right.
That doesn't count.
I took him yesterday, and there's only one other dad in the group, and basically, Boz, who's my child, he didn't like it yesterday. He cried quite a lot, and everybody was giving me that.
Oh, yeah.
Goodness sake!
Oh, it's like me on the plane when they cry.
Yeah, But anyway, I went into the men's changing rooms, and there's a place, it says family changing area. Mm-hmm. So I went in there, and there was some clothes hanging up, and I thought, OK, so I'll hang mine up in there. And then it was me and the other dad ended up in there changing our babies. And it was a bit cramped in there. And after, he never spoke to me at all. With two men in a small room with their babies, he never spoke. Mm-hmm. And then he says, he's American, he said, I guess this place isn't really designed for two people, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I said, saying, I've hung my stuff up, this is my room now.
No, but I thought he meant me being something of a naif from the halfway line.
Yeah.
I thought he was commenting on the design of the room. So I said, anyway, but we're doing pretty well, though.
I thought he was as well. What did he mean?
But after, I don't think he was... I think what he meant was, why are you in here? When clearly there's only room for one and I was here first.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he meant.
Yeah, and that would suggest is... So next week, Kat says, look, I think Boz sometimes picks up because you're still a bit uncertain in the water after years of, being terrified.
Oh, he picks up the fear.
He picks up on that. So next week I'll go in with him. And I said, I think that's a really good idea, and I think it would be better for Boz, and he'd be more relaxed, and he probably might learn quicker. But I don't want to not go into that little room with that man, in case he thinks he's won the territory. I said, so why don't I go and get him changed, and then I'll hand him over to you. So that's my plan at the moment. Is that crazy?
Well,
I think it might look a tad aggressive, darling.
I don't want it to be. I was the friendly naive. Do you remember that? I was the naive, not the aggressor. I reckon I could do that with such delicacy. I don't even touch the F. Oh. I was the naive, in that situation. I enjoyed that.
We've had a text.
Slightly dislocated my neck. Let's not do it. We can't do a text. Don't you know what time it is, young man?
Skinner, Dean and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
We've had a text in, haven't we, Cockrell? Would you like to do the honours?
We've actually had a couple of texts in regarding the lessons. One saying, Frank, the Cockrell says he's not done anything such as learn a foreign language, but I'd say you and Miss Emily teach him English most weeks. Buddhists today, correct as opposed to correct. I think I did them both the same there, didn't I?
Yeah.
Almost every other week. And then there's the odd bit of French too, like Descartes.
Oh, brought up Descartes.
Oh.
Is it a she or a he?
Never bring up Descartes.
Oh, it's Mark with a curly K, so that could be...
Mark with a
curly K. C, curly K.
What's curly K?
What are you talking about?
As opposed to kicking K. Curly K, C.
Okay.
Curly K and kicking K.
Where were you brought up?
Well,
no, he's teaching us. He's trying to get his own back by saying, well, I was at school more recently than you, so I know some of the modern teaching methods.
Well, by about 18 months. Hang on to that.
Well, not
we've also had
from me. We work largely on slate.
We've also had a text in about your changing room, swimming pool anxiety, let's call it.
My experience in the family changing room?
Yeah, the family changing room. 519, Janet has texted in, Frank, you're hilarious. It's one family at a time in the family changing room.
Hold it, one family at a time? Why?
Yeah. Normally we don't read praise, but I feel like you need the spoonful of sugar here. Frank, you're hilarious. It's one family at a time in the family changing rooms, not some kind of communal family changing. Janet in Edinburgh. I have 2 children, so know about these sort of things.
Do you know, you owe that American a very big apology.
Yeah, you need to go in there.
And I'm not talking about George Bush.
Give him a slice of humble pie and make it a large.
Apple pie. So you're telling me that a man was getting changed with his child in a private cubicle and another man came in?
Yeah, in what he thought was his cubicle, and you wandered in there and just... It's a bit like last week when I was describing me using the urinal.
But Janet might not be... Janet might not be right.
It's like
I'm
if I was
pretty
in
sure
the
she's
loo
right.
and you suddenly walked in.
Yeah.
And went, it's cosy in here, isn't it? And then Emily said it's not really designed for 2. Yeah, we're coping though, aren't we?
No, but it wasn't the ladies. I mean, it was the men's changing rooms. It was in there.
It's one family at a time, Frank.
But what does that mean, exactly?
I think it means
There's
his
no
family were in
complexity.
there and then you wandered in with yours.
But it said family changing room.
Okay, if you see his family and your
Didn't say.
family on a Venn diagram, it's not meant to overlap.
Yes,
If you
right.
see your experience in the pool changing room the other day, there was an overlap, wasn't there?
If you go into a changing room in a shop, when it says changing room, that means that person in there, it's their changing room. It doesn't mean you can
Shut
open the
up.
curtains.
What, you can't go into that? No, I wouldn't do that. It said family change room more than it's a plurally kind of a word.
Yeah.
I'd like, if anyone's got, we're nearly done now, but if anyone could verify this, because I think Janet might have made a mistake.
You want a second opinion?
I would like a second opinion.
Like a medical.
I might be glad of it, because the police could be around my house at any moment. I would
Yeah,
have
you
thought.
might press charges. And we're going to sashay back to email corner.
Oh, yeah.
No. we're
Okay, do
moving
you
on.
want the music?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Ready? I enjoyed that. What about this? I thought I've just found a whole batch of jingles I forgot I had. How wonderful.
I'm still reeling from that poor man in the changing room.
Poor man.
Next time I go in, I'll do this. All right.
Imagine him going back to his
Oh.
wife. And this guy, he wouldn't leave.
Can you believe this guy? I was in the family changing rooms, and this guy comes in. Oh no!
I think he was strung out.
You might just think that's the British way, that family changing rooms are communal here. You might get away with it.
Yeah, I still think that it didn't say a family changing room.
On the ladies' toilet, it doesn't say a ladies' toilet. It says ladies.
No, but
Bad news, Frank. We've just had a text from 503 saying, Janet is right, you fool.
Oh no, Frank! This is the best thing that ever happened.
oh no, it's like in films when they get in their car and there's someone already in there.
That happened to me the other day. A woman came out of a woman came out of a pub and climbed into the back of a car.
Oh yes, she did. Look, you might have to lie to your wife, but don't ever lie to me.
Always lie to me.
A woman got into your car.
Yeah, I'd parked up outside this rough pub in Leeds, and she walked out and just opened the back door and then looked.
Pub in Leeds?
She sort of put one foot into the car and
She
then
got
went
into the back.
This isn't, and I can't remember the name. And then she sort of got back out and I went, yeah, I'm just parking. I'm not a taxi.
What's the name? Very nice.
I think it was something like, this isn't Janet's car. Maybe it's the same Janet. I think she
yeah,
thought she was being
Janet.
collected by someone.
That happens a lot. I know someone in fashion who did that. There was a car waiting outside a house and she opened the door, got in the back and went, Claridge's. And he went, I'm just parking my car, I live here.
It does happen a lot. I'm so glad I'm on trend.
You know it happened with Mark E. Smith, of course.
Yeah, of
before.
course,
He
yeah.
got into, I think it was
Badly Drawn Boys.
car, and he actually drove him home. He didn't like to say. And of course, the fabulous ending to the story is he found his false teeth in the car
Oh, God.
2 days later.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is from Mr. Simpson, who calls himself Josh. I'm sorry, I'm being distracted because of the endless emails coming in saying it's called Family Changing Room to let you know it's got more space for you and your kids, not for random strangers to join you and
I
your
was with-
family.
I was
That's
with-
Sarah in Perth. Even in Perth, they know how to behave.
I
I don't
was
know if
with
that's Perth,
my,
Scotland, though.
No, I know.
I was with my child. I wasn't just in there with him and his.
Yeah, there's definitely a rule about that.
Yeah.
You can't just go in there, just you.
Maybe I should have just handed my child over the top and say, change that, will you?
That'd be good.
Can I just say...
As if it was a bureau de change.
You have one apologist, Ben in Loughborough, says, I've never thought that the family changing room was one family at a time. I've never had any complaints.
There you go, Ben. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Thank
There
you
you
very
go.
much, people. Knowles. Oh,
Okay.
it must have been. It's made me feel a bit tingly around the shoulders. Like
Yeah.
I've made a terrible faux pas.
I'm loving it.
Like a faux pas. Some sort of a faux pas.
Can we return to Mr. Simpson?
Yes.
Yes.
Dear Frank, Emily and Alan, I work at a school in a class of 22 6-year-olds. Last Friday, we experienced the wrath of a swarm of angry drunk wasps whilst working in our school woods.
Oh, no.
Within
School
seconds.
woods.
Yeah, sounds like my kind of school I went
Yeah.
to. Within seconds, we were each covered with dozens of wasps. 13 of the children being stung several times, along with me and the teacher being stung as well.
Can I just stop there? Mr. Simpson, and me and the teacher. So he's not the teacher.
Oh, good point, actually.
Because he says
I think he might be an assistant. Yeah, you're right.
Classroom
He
assistant.
couldn't
Yeah.
possibly be the man in the white coat who used to come into the classroom with the telly and help the teacher to operate the VHS recorder.
That's all he did.
Like the VHS recorder was like like the TARDIS, some really complicated. There used to be a man coming in a lab coat to operate the VHS
Press
recorder.
play.
Oh, he did. I think he did a bit of tracking. So I hope Mr. Simpson is that man.
I so hope so. Okay. Anyway, we were forced to set up a makeshift hospital in the safety of the
Like, it's like
classroom.
MASH.
Lil Mash, but we're still being attacked. To me, that is proof that wasps are pure evil and obviously do go on drunken rampages. If you read this out, could you please tell Cherry class how brave they were and how proud of them the whole school are?
Oh, Cherry class. Named after Cherry Gillespie, the Pan's People dancer. No, well done, Cherry class. And may I say you've lived up to your name, because like the cherry, whilst being soft and sweet on the outside, you prove you have a hard and tough interior, and that one day, when that's planted in soil, it'll grow up into a beautiful tree bearing more fruit. And you know what? It's been a lovely sharing show today. When we did that pre-recorded show and we didn't get any texts, and I really missed our readers.
Yeah.
Missed them. You've been marvellous today, even if slightly reprimanding towards the end. Okay, so if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out.
The Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. Back Saturday morning from 8. Tune in live for the full Frank experience.
Absolute Radio.